if you go into the show thinking, oh, I want to win this show, so let me keep on saving my best for the strongest challenge, you might not get to see that challenge, right?
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Pete Olusoga and this is 80% Mental, a podcast all about the psychology of sport and performance. Welcome to yet another episode. We're deep into the third series of the podcast now, and I've been exploring the mental aspects of as many different areas of performance as I can. I've been looking forward to this episode for a little while now. About a month or so ago, I came across a show on Netflix called Physical 100. 100 contestants in top physical shape compete in a series of gruelling challenges to claim the honour and cash reward as the last one standing. The description doesn't really do it justice. Think Squid Game crossed with Gladiators, only with fewer fatalities and less John Fashanu shouting "Awooga." The show was called Physical 100, and the contestants really did have to display immense strength, speed, and stamina to get through all of the challenges. But what really struck me was just how much of a mental component there was, and how important the mental aspect of each of the challenges really was. And then I thought, well, wouldn't it be amazing to talk to one of the contestants for the podcast? And so that's exactly what I did. So sit back and enjoy this conversation that I had with Nelson Miracle Chinonso, known simply as Miracle, in which we talk about his journey from Nigeria to appearing on a Korean game show. Well, Miracle, I am genuinely so excited to welcome you to the podcast. Obviously, there's a little bit of a time difference. So it's about 5:30 in the morning here. It's 1:30 for you, is that right?
Yeah.
1:30 in the afternoon. What's a typical Sunday afternoon like for you?
Basically, it's the day I take off from the gym and rest and get my schedules planned for the next week. And usually, it's like my away from the war zone kind of time, where I settle down, try to get my peace, get my rest, and everything before the week starts. And so it's a really very, very, very sacred time for me.
Okay, well, I really appreciate you taking an hour out to talk to me on your sacred time, your rest day.
It's cool.
Okay, well, like I say, we'll get straight to it because I know that you do have a fairly busy schedule. But
Yeah.
I reached out to you after I watched Physical 100.
Yeah.
For those people who haven't seen it yet, how would you describe that show?
Intriguing, mind-blowing, and also just like every other survival series or reality show, a lot of twists to it, right? Because people who haven't seen the show, trust me, the ending, they wouldn't see the ending coming at all. Like some people actually think it was scripted, right? But trust me, it was a true survival series. Everything that happened was happening, and nothing scripted. Even we who were on the show, we didn't know what challenges we're doing until the day. So it was it was really crazy, very challenging. And for me, especially because I'm not Korean, right? So I have to battle with understanding the challenge because of the language and also the challenge. It was like two times more stressful for me.
So I want to talk about the show in a little while.
Yeah.
But I mean, you mentioned obviously you're not Korean, and Physical 100
Yeah.
it's a Korean game show. You started out as a dancer in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So whereabouts in Nigeria did you grow up?
I grew up in Abuja, this capital city.
Okay.
Well, I'm actually from the east, which is Enugu State,
Mm-hmm.
but I was born in the north.
You moved around a
So
bit.
yeah. So I grew up in Abuja, the capital city.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with dancing and stuff. Then after my high school, I really wanted to dance, but in Nigeria, we don't have like a dance major in school. It's just theater arts, which is basically acting, but like a minor course in dance or music. But the main course is actually acting.
Mm.
So I didn't want to do that because what I wanted to do is dance. So because of that, I had to study peace and conflict resolution in the university,
Okay.
which which was entirely different from my dreams and goal. Yeah, but in Nigeria, your parents want you to study something really important, right? Yeah, so that was what happened. After that, I found out about this K-pop show. I've done some competitions in Nigeria. Like there's a
Mm.
competition in 2015. It's called the Dance with Peter. It was quite famous in Africa. Like yeah, I was among the top 10. And also a competition in 2010, which is called the Multina Family Dancer, where you have to take your family too
Mm.
and dance with like your mom, your dad. We got the third place. So those were signs that point me in the direction that you could actually do well. A year to my graduation, I found out about K-pop.
Mm.
So we actually came to Korea and won the K-pop World Festival, which is
Right.
like they pick over 200 countries. The first and second place of each compete of a K-pop competition in each countries. Then they do a short list down to 15 teams. They
Mm.
invite those 15 teams over to Korea for the World Festival, right? So on the World Festival, we got the grand prize. So when we went back to Nigeria because of that success, people started meeting me. Oh, my team wants to go for the same competition. Help me build my team. Help me. So I started helping teams. And when I help teams, they go to the competition in Nigeria and do very well. Some of them go over to Korea too. I think two teams got second place and the other one got I can't really remember. So I think word went around and the Korean embassy heard about me.
Mm.
So they talked to the Korean cultural center in Nigeria. They wanted to start K-pop dance academy because Koreans are very keen on spreading their culture, right? So this is a way
Mm.
of spreading the culture, right? So they contacted me because, oh, this guy has a good track record for K-pop dance competition and the rest. I should come help them teach at Nigerian K-pop embassy in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
So at the cultural center, I started teaching and I found out about Korean culture, Korean food and stuff. And I was like, okay, since after that year, the next year I graduated and I really want to start. I really want to dance. I really wanted to do dance as a major. Why not travel out and to a country where I could focus on dance, right? I got an offer to go to America. I got an offer to go to Amsterdam. Then I got the Korean. Well, I decided that if I go to America, like dance is already very famous there. There are Afrobeats, every
Mm.
style Amsterdam too, yeah. But in Korea, like African roots are not really, it's not really famous yet. So if I really want to stand out and really create a name for myself or create a brand for myself, maybe I should go there. It might be difficult because of the language, but if I could beat that language barrier and challenges, then it's going to be a very successful
Mm.
story for me. So that's why I chose to come to Korea. So I
So you want,
came, yeah, in 2019.
yeah. So you wanted to leave a mark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I mean, that's it's such an interesting story. So you started off in competitions, and then almost got recruited to come and help other teams, and then found yourself in Korea. So I mean, how did you move from that to ending up on this crazy game show, this survival show?
So I came to Korea in 2015, in 2019. Yeah. So when I arrived to Korea in 2019, I had 1 year to do the language because before you go into the university in Korea, you have to understand the language to a certain level.
Hmm.
So I studied that year was all about studying the language and stuff. Then the next year was like, oh, now I'm going to go into my university and do what I really came here for, dance in do a major in modern dancing while doing all the dance activities. Then COVID struck.
Yeah.
There was a lockdown. Like, oh shit, everything just went, my plan just went. So the only thing that was open in Korea, bars and everything was shut down was the gym. For what reason, I don't know why. Maybe for my sake. The universe was working for my sake. Gym was open, but you have to put the mask on, right?
Hmm.
So the only way I could have fun or get out of the house is the gym. So I started going to the gym every day. As when I started for the first 1 year, when I started at 2020 to 2021, I was going every day for 4 hours and started eating a clean diet. Then there's something famous in Korea where they call it profile surgery, which actually means profile picture. Like when you diet down, get in good shape, then go take some photo shoots
Mm.
for your portfolio or you want to post on Instagram or stuff. Yeah. So I decided to do that. After dieting down, a coach in the gym was like, "Oh, your genetic is crazy. It's crazy. Like, why don't you compete? Like, just do this competition and say and have it in your history. Like, one time in my life, I tried bodybuilding competition and I got yeah. So I did the competition, and on my first competition, I'm very ambitious, right? So pushed myself. I skipped over beginners, novice, and went to open,
Okay.
which is like the professional level. And I got third place on my first competition in
Wow.
just 8 months of workout under my belt. So that really inspired me. So I
Mm.
started doing bodybuilding, going for competition, opened the YouTube channel, and I started getting a lot of views and subscribers on YouTube. And in the space of 3 months, I got over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So it was really encouraging.
Mm.
So I started doing that. Then I decided to make a com card, like a model com card, and send out to model agencies. Like, oh, I'm a freelancer. I model, I dance, and I also act. Yeah. So I think Netflix put out an ad for the physical book, and probably one of my the agency I sent out my com card to were submitting models to Netflix, right?
Mm.
Models in this, and I got an invite for physical book for physical 100, and I was like, first of all, when you get this kind of invite, you're like, oh, I've gotten stuff from Samsung, from LG, but
Mm.
it might just be a general casting, then they'll still pick out people. Yeah. Then it kept on getting serious. They invited me for the live audition. Yeah.
Mm.
And I went for the audition. Then a few days later, they called me. It's confirmed you're going to be audition. I
So what
was
was
like,
that like
wow.
when you found out you were actually going to be on the show? What was that like?
You know that when you think about stuff like this, you think like, hey, you're gonna be so happy, you're gonna be yelling, but I was dumbfounded. Like it sounded like too good to be true. Even the person on the call was like, did you understand what I'm saying? Because it's Korean, right? So she
Mm.
felt like maybe I didn't understand that. Maybe other people reacted differently, like yelling, like shouting. Yeah. I was like, I'm just so excited. I can't. It's too much excitement. So that's how it happened. Then now getting on the show, I found
Right.
out that oh, I'm the only brother on the show. That was more pressure for me. I
Yeah.
started representing the dancers, but being, it's one thing to be a foreigner and it's another thing to be like brother on the show, right?
Hmm.
So I was like, man, I have to represent right. It's really exciting for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and you mentioned the language as well. So after watching the show, I thought I'm gonna try and learn a little bit of Korean. So because I've got Duolingo on my phone, so I learned.
Okay.
So I did like the first lesson, and I was like, no, it's just
Yeah,
blown my
like
mind.
it's crazy, right? when you go to maybe France and want to study French in France, right? They teach you French, right? But the teacher who's teaching you teaches you with English, right? He's
Hmm.
teaching you English, French. But when you come to Korea, they're teaching you Korean with Korean.
Yeah.
So it's like you're on the first day in class and the teacher's like, 안녕하세요. I'm like, what's going on here? Oh God, what's crazy?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know because I like I say, I gave up after about 5 minutes. But your Korean sounded pretty good when you were talking
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the.
yeah. I think I should be up to 80% right now. The only issue I have is maybe like vocabularies. You can't know all the vocabulary. You know how many
Yeah.
vocabulary? Yeah, so it's just like what this word is in Korean. That's the only problem I have right now. But yeah, everything I can understand pretty well.
Yeah. And you also you mentioned being the only black guy on the show as well, and you were competing against what seemed to be like some real Korean legends.
Yeah, most of them, most of them are uh, gold medal Olympic athletes. Most of
Mm,
them. In fact, I think almost 50 people from the 100 have been to the Olympics. And
mm,
it's not joke to be, even if you don't win a medal in the Olympics, it's not jokes to even be in the
yeah.
Olympics. So it was crazy. The rest are bodybuilders. Like, so when I got there, I was like, in my head, knowing how much workout I have in my belt, like 1 year, 6 months workout under my belt. So in my head, I'm like, God, man, this is going to be crazy because these guys, you see, everybody, trust me, there was no Photoshop. The bodies you see on TV, I think it was even crazier. In person, like big guys.
So it wasn't just good lighting then.
No, no, no. Trust me, the because I found out the audition over about 2,000 people.
Oh, really?
That was 100 of the best 2,000 people. So even
Wow.
hearing that, I was like, whoa, 100. So I was like, I was part of the 100 they picked out of it of 2,000 people. So it made me also, it kind of encouraged me to. And also, after the show, you start to hear things, you find out that I was not the only brother they actually invited and did the audition. So
Mm,
thinking about that makes you feel more confident about yourself.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was obviously insanely competitive. But what struck me was there was this real genuine respect between all of the contestants, and
Korea is a country of respect.
mm,
Like when you come here, even when you learn the language, yes, like when you speak the language, there's this. It's called Lopima and Pama. It's like honorific and speaking normally. You
mm,
can't speak to someone even 1 year older than you. You have to speak to them a different way.
mm,
You have to speak with your mate, like your age group, a different way. So it's very respectful country. So going into the show, everything you see wasn't fake. Even behind the scenes, everybody was like it was a competition, but behind the scene was like a big family.
mm,
Everybody showing respect, just being nice. It was like that. That's why still after the show, we're still in good relationship,
yeah,
meeting each other. If you check my YouTube and check some other of the contestant YouTube, you see there's like a collabo YouTube of everybody that's
mm-hmm.
just going around. We have a group chat where we invite each other to our event, or if you want a support from the group. So it's really what it was. It wasn't fake.
So I have to ask you because you talked about behind the scenes stuff there, and one one of the things that I wanted to ask you about was the box jumps competition.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So because that just kind of seemed to come out of nowhere, and everybody was just doing these crazy box jumps. Like, what happened there? Like, what?
So it was during like a break time.
Mm,
So we did a couple of things, but that was the one that made the cut, right? It was like the uh Netflix just wanted to, I think, just create a fun time in the lounge and stuff.
mm,
Yeah, but that that the box jump stuff. the moment when it kept on going higher and higher and higher and higher, I knew that if I try, I could probably do it. But in my there's this part of your mind that said, bro, if this make it out and you didn't get this job and you so let me just maintain my peace. And these guys are guys that do this on their daily training.
Mm.
Just you know what it means to train for the Olympics, different types of sports, So they did it for their different training. So I think it was child's play, especially the Yusombing guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That did the highest jump.
Yeah, yeah. There's the
Go to YouTube, does more. The guy is a beast, like when it comes to
and that's the skeleton guy, right?
the
Yeah,
skeleton
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He's If you check his YouTube, he has views on a lot of views. He does different things. Like he challenges himself. He might do wrestling this week.
Mm-hmm.
Next week he's doing it. He's always good at different sport. Yeah, so I probably would have done it, but to me I was just like, oh, okay. When I did the first jump, I did my flip down.
Yeah.
Then I did the second one. It kept on going higher and higher. I was like, oh,
It's like
this
I'm
might be
out.
a
I'm
trap.
done.
Yeah, this might be a trap. Because I did other stuff where like I taught like the group salsa.
Oh, really?
But when the editing comes out, so many things might not make cut.
You're listening to 80% Mental, and I'm here with Miracle, a dancer, choreographer, actor, bodybuilder, and a contestant on Netflix's Physical 100, which, if you haven't watched it yet, you absolutely should. Miracle, so you mentioned very briefly earlier about not knowing what the challenges were going to be. So you literally would find out the morning of the challenge, right?
Yeah, not even the morning. Like maybe 1 hour to the challenge.
Right.
Like the pre-challenge, the place where we're gonna hang, we just went into the hall. They just said, "This is the challenge. Pick a number on the box because there are numbers on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just pick a number." Then we picked the number and stood, and they took all of us out of the hall. Then divided it into 50-50, right? Brought 50 back. They didn't even tell us anything yet. Just say stand. If they had told us the challenge, you go back thinking, oh, if I stay on a bar
Mm-hmm.
with this shape, I'll be able to rest more, right? So, but you don't know, so you just go back into the hall and just stand anyway.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they just say, this is what's gonna happen. The bar came down and there's a countdown. Get on it before the countdown is over. Then we got on it. Getting on it, oh, it takes us up. And me, I'm scared of heights, right? I didn't know. So getting up, going up and up and up and up and up. We thought that was it. Then the ground opened. And I looked down, it was like this fog coming out, like, God. They didn't tell anybody. So, well, a lot of adrenaline. Me, trust me, it's same thing, referring it back to how we brothers act. We're like, bro, you don't know what's down there, man. Stay outside. At least wait and see maybe 5 people drop and see the reaction. Yeah, but after that, I still pushed myself. And funny enough, I was the last sixth person to drop. I was proud of myself, but when people see me, they're like, oh, this guy, so inspired. But they don't know what's running through my head. Like, no, man, to not fall first, bro. You don't know what's down there waiting. And also, they said there's a benefit for the
Yeah.
So I also thought if I could stay until the last 10, there's no how if they put the 100 together, I won't be in the top 50. Because I know in shows like this, elimination has to be like half. They will take half of it. Yeah. So when I got to top 10, I was still like, just try. When I got to top 6, at that point, I just actually could have stayed longer, but I was like, it's already sixth place. You don't know what the next challenge will be. You save your strength because
Mhm.
already I had bruises, bro. I stood, I stayed, I hung for 11 minutes, but it felt like 1 hour. Bro, it was crazy. Like, people think it's that easy. I've seen
Mm.
people try to challenge in the gym and they can't even say 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because next week before the show, the premiere, they made like a little bar, like a pull-up bar, and put in different gyms and
Mhm.
put gifts for people who wants to try that show. Because it was
Okay.
already on the trailer, right? So people were already talking about the trailer. So I don't think there's anybody who has done up to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The gym I went to, the highest was about 2 minutes. So me watching them, the show is not out yet, right? So they don't know who is in the show. So me
Mhm.
watching them in the gym, in my head, I'm like, you guys don't even know, man. So to me, it was like child's play.
Yeah.
When I know how the real thing felt, it was very high.
Well, you know, maybe people would have held on for longer in the gym if there'd been like a pit of steaming water underneath them. Maybe
Yeah,
the
maybe
fear factor, right?
or when just 30 minutes before that you get they tell you guys that the grand prize is 300 million won.
Bit of incentive, right?
Yeah, because the show the winner went home with 300 million Korean won, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that, trust me, man, people will hold on longer.
So, I mean, speaking about that, you know, obviously the challenges were insanely physical, like all of them were, but there was a real mental component to some of them as well. Well,
Yeah.
to all of them, in fact. You know, so
Oh,
what was, you know, I think one of my favorites was the team challenge, you know, where you had to work to drag a ship, like an actual
oh,
ship, and pull it
God.
up onto, I mean, that looked
That was
horrific.
1,500 kilogram.
Yeah. Yeah. And
1.5
yeah.
tons.
And you had to load the ship first,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
drag
The
it.
first push was that the ship didn't even move. Like, you know when you have the strongest guy on the team and you just think like, okay, maybe it's gonna like shake or we just
Yeah.
ship was just like
Because there was a point where it stopped. You kind of almost got and again, I don't know how
at
it's
the end, right?
yeah, so I don't know how it's edited together, but there was a point where it looked like it just stopped. And like what's going through your mind at that point?
That see the truth is we got to that end fast.
Mm.
It was this amount, this distance. It took us over I think over 5 minutes to
Wow.
push because you have to push the ship and like put
Mm.
the rope over the yeah. But the thing is, the first platform is wooden, right? And the ship is wooden.
Mm.
It's difficult to push. So the first and the last is the hardest part. But the reason why the last part was hard was more difficult was because it was inclined,
Mm.
and at that point there was no more those wood to roll the ship, right? So we had to push it. So I think that's why it was really difficult. And watching the show now, seeing the other people, the guys who finished first, we
Mm.
saw that they had a kind of pull up and push kind of routine. Yeah, but another thing is understanding the challenge. We didn't know that you could actually do that.
Right.
You know, there are some things you actually don't know what you can do and what you can't do. You understand?
Mm.
And it's not easy thinking you can pick up because those guys that finished fast, they had two strong men on their team.
Mm.
There's a show in Korea like the strong men. So that very big guy,
Mm.
he's actually the strongest man in Korea from that show because he won that show.
Mm.
So he's the strongest man in Korea. No, oh, you see, they were the first strongest man and the third place strongest man was on that team.
Right.
So it was it was obvious, like because when we're choosing the team, we didn't know what the challenge was, right?
Yeah.
So I trust me, if they mention the challenge before choosing the team, I'm sure everybody will want to be with that, with that guy. So, see, that ship challenge had a lot of mind games pushed into it because the way we chose the team members was really, I don't know who's thinking about these challenges. I'm thinking about this, but this person is really, really awesome. Like you after choosing the team members, right? The team leaders, right? The team leaders get to choose us, right?
Mm.
You get to choose who you want your team leader to be. So after choosing the team leader, then the team leader now choose if he wants you on his team or not.
Yeah, it's
So there were
brutal.
situations where you choose this team leader and he doesn't choose you. So if you keep on being rejected, you keep on going back and back and back and back and back until so already being a team where you like the five people maybe feeling like, oh man, yeah, the reject. Like people think about that as the wicked. That could play a lot in your with your mind going into
Mm.
the time, right? So
Yeah,
when
that was brutal. The team
yeah,
selection
like
one there. So.
after selecting, we're like, oh cool, we've chosen our then they said now team leaders will choose if you want you on your team, then well, this is really mind game.
So what was your mindset then throughout the whole competition? How did you approach things mentally?
First of all, I actually thought about each challenge being the goal for me, like each level. Yeah, of course, I thought, oh, if I win this, it's gonna be like awesome, right? It's gonna be a good storyline for from where I'm coming from and stuff.
Mm.
And the rest. But the main thing was my goal was to make an impact, like paint, make that mark I came to Korea for, right? And I won't make that mark if I leave on the first episode. So if you go into the show thinking, oh, I want to win this show, so let me keep on saving my best for the strongest challenge, you might not get to see that challenge,
Mm.
right? So every challenge was my best effort. So basically, like what's in front of me right now, this is the goal. Smash it. Next one, that's the goal. Smash. That's what. So even the time, the last semi-finals where I got it, if you notice my reaction after not getting the touch, like the final, my reaction was not based on, it had nothing to do with who won me or why. It had to do with like, realization of, oh man, this what could have been just
Hmm.
crashing down here. It was more like that.
Yeah, yeah. But approaching it kind of just not really thinking about what's coming next, just this really right
Yeah.
now focus, like what's right in front of me. So so obviously again you're known for dancing and bodybuilding as well. So is the mental side of performance something that you try to work on? Is it something that you've tried to develop?
Or basically, I love dancing, right? So I had a problem with my expression when I was growing up, right? So that's actually why I chose to major in modern dancing because it helped out my expression and stuff.
Hmm.
So off screen, I'm a very shy person. Actually an introvert. Like I can stay indoors 24 hours a day, 1 week, just with my Netflix
Hmm.
and go to the gym and stuff. That's kind of person I am, right? So, but I think being into entertainment and performing helped me create that balance of being out there at the same time. So when it comes to preparing mentally for stuff like this, I just think I have because of I have always been ambitious and I'm a strong-willed person. Like I'm actually either at this side of the coin or this side. I'm never stuck in the middle. I'm always here. So I think that has helped my personality in everything I do.
Mhm.
If I want this, I want this. If I don't want this, there's no, oh, maybe I should. No, I don't want this. Yeah,
What would you say? What would you say was your best moment on the show,
my best moment on the show.
or maybe
Okay,
what was the most fun thing for you?
the most fun thing for me was when we when we got into the lounge, right? And I saw the gym and I saw the protein shakes and I saw the couch. To an introvert, that just feels like okay, now this is me, right? I just felt like at home because it's kind of the same thing in my house. I have
Yeah.
my my bike for my cardio. I have
Mm-hmm.
food, page, and I have TV. So that was like uh, a breather for me. Time out of the challenge because as much as I was on the physical back, I'm not a trained professional athlete like these guys. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So every time it was time for every show, it was more nerve-wracking for me, because it's different going on the stage and doing a dance performance that and competing with other athletes. Like
Mm-hmm.
so basically it was during the rest times when we talked. Yeah, that was exciting because getting to know other people, connecting to other famous people,
Mm-hmm.
people that when you come to Korea, you only see on YouTube and Instagram and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
And like you say, you've kept some of those connections as well, right?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah. So in terms of the challenges, then, what was the most fun challenge for you, or what was your best moment?
The most fun challenge for me was after the pre-challenge, the first challenge, the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because uh after choosing the guy, I don't know Korean stuff, so I found out that he was a younger guy. He was 18 years, but the thing is, when if you let that distract you, it might cost you losing that challenge, right? Because you say, "Oh, he's 18 years, he's a kid. Let me go easy on him." But thinking about 18 years on this kind of show, there has to be a reason why he's here. So
Mm-hmm.
don't look down on anybody and stuff. So why it was fun for me is because we got to, after choosing ourselves, we got talking and we decided to play like a very safe match. There's not like, so that's why at the beginning of our challenge, we did like this heart sign to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So probably that's why it didn't make the edit because probably it was not more of you understand? It was more of like just two friends playing, but like trying to. It's like playing one on one with your friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to win, but at the same time, it's just like having fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was that, and that was the most my a the challenge where my mind was more at peace. Even though I did it in one of the most difficult times of the show, because I was preparing for a bodybuilding competition. And when we did that shoot, I was 1 week out of my bodybuilding show. So
Right.
when you're 1 week out of a bodybuilding show, the first 3 days of the show, you're on low carbs or no carbs, right? You're reducing water. So you're really tired, stressed, and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
he could probably he could win at that point because I was out of energy. Right now I'm 94 kg, but at that time I was 80 kg. So imagine cutting all those calories and being very tired, no water, no food in your system,
Mm-hmm.
only on protein. So it was kind of a difficult time for me for the shoot. But because of we spoke and we just decided to like have a safe match because
Mm-hmm.
at the first show when people were slamming, you know, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
So I think he got scared of that. Oh, let's not go that way with ours. Let's
Yeah.
just try let's play professional game, but try not to hurt each other, right? because
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
taekwondo athlete, like the demonstration part.
Mhm.
And I'm a dancer. We both know our body is very important because if you get a dislocation, that's 1 month of not doing anything.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was like the
Yeah.
best, the most chill challenge.
Nice, nice. I think one of the things that I found fascinating about it, you said you got paired up with somebody, um, and you kind of look at that person and you think, oh, he's kind of 18, young, like a bit smaller than I am, but there were so many surprises
That's what
as
I just
to
said.
who was, who could do what and who was better. It was so many surprises on the
So
show, and that's what
I
I
felt
love about
like
it.
he had to do it overconfidence and underrating.
Yeah,
No, there was a guy a girl won even on the house. We were like surprised because he kept on taking the ball. They didn't show their full match. He kept on taking the ball and throwing it back to her. I was teasing her, right?
yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
So when it got to almost time, the girl just picked the ball and went into savage mode, right?
yeah.
Straight up, like because she's a stunt girl,
Mm.
so she does a lot of crawling and grabbing and stuff. She grabbed that ball. Guy tried. There's nothing he didn't do until she won. I can imagine how embarrassed he might have felt.
Uh, so what's next for you then, career wise or ambition wise? What's next for you?
I want to round up my studies, then maybe stay in Korea for a while, pursuing modeling, acting, and my dance career. Basically, that's like the goal. Still, yeah, I've created a mark, but I still want to do more, right?
Mm.
Yeah, so basically, the goal hasn't changed from day one. It's making a statement, making a name. Yeah, that's it.
You're listening to 80% Mental. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can do that on the website, 80percentmental.com, where you can listen to all of our other episodes or give us a follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at EPM Podcast or on Instagram at 80% Mental. I'm here with Miracle, and we've been talking about his incredible journey from Nigeria to Korea and his appearance on Physical 100, which again, I urge you to watch if you haven't watched already. It's an amazing, amazing show. So, Miracle, I like to have a little section where I ask some quick fire questions. It's a new segment on the podcast, and I still haven't named it. Still haven't thought of a good name for it. But it's just so the listeners and I can get to know a bit more about you as a person rather than just as an athlete. So I've got 4 envelopes here with different sets of questions in them. I've got deep and meaningful. Have you ever, either or the last time? So I'm going to ask you to choose a number between 1 and 4, and I will open the envelope and we'll see what questions we're going to get.
uh, Two.
2, okay. So okay, so um, we've got deep and meaningful.
Uh,
So I didn't know what the questions were going to be beforehand. I've just opened them now. You don't know what the questions are going to be, but we'll see what happens. Are you up for that?
yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's start. So first question: what's your favorite thing about yourself?
Uh, my favorite thing about myself is I'm strong-willed.
Strong-willed.
Yeah, my mindset is really strong. I'm very happy that I have that to my advantage. And when I have a goal, I don't stop until I get that goal.
Hmm. Where does that come from? That strong mindset.
Uh, I don't, I think maybe from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, my dad uh, is a very good example with the way he handles stuff and his family. And he, my dad is a famous actor in Nigeria right now because when he wanted to go into acting and leave his other job, quit his other job and go into acting, there was a lot of how you gonna do that? How you gonna fend for your family and stuff? You get, but he still did what he had to do, and now he's getting the benefit.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, what's a bad habit that you've been able to overcome?
Overthinking. I'm trying to leave. I think it has to do with also that my I'm being ambitious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know till the last cent of what I have in my account balance every time. I always think about every second of the day. Like it's like a routine thing that I used to do. Like once I spend, I'm calculating. Oh, so but these days I've learned to let go. Like just
Mm-hmm.
you spend this money, spend it. You keep don't always save and think like there's going to be a big emergency that's gonna come, that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen soon. So you always, oh, I need to have a backup. Yeah, sometimes just it's okay to just enjoy
Enjoy
the
life,
moment.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy the moment while still thinking and saving, but enjoy the moment. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
those kind of.
Okay. What's your favorite food of all time?
I am a foodie, so I don't really have a favorite food. So
Okay.
I like food in general. That's why it's difficult to be a bodybuilder for me.
Oh yeah, sure. I bet. I
But
bet.
the good side of it is because of that mental strength I have, I'm able to eat the same meal for one. In fact, I think I've been eating the same in 3 years. I've been eating the same kind of meal every day. Just maybe once in a while, when I hang out with my friends, I eat something else.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I can eat the same meal every day. Hope you find me weird.
What do other people appreciate about you?
Like what I've been told that people is my passion. Yeah,
Mm.
my passion for what I want to do. Everything I do because people who followed my journey from Nigeria who saw how it all began. There was a time a friend of mine, he posted a picture of me and wrote, "If passion was a person." So that was really encouraging. Like, it was really touching for me. So I think that's what people really.
What's your biggest fear?
Mm, my biggest fear is not to matter actually, like not to achieve my goal.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not all about being rich, being big. I just want to make a mark. That's I think that's my purpose. Because from how I was given birth to how I was named, to the name I was given, I think like I have this purpose to leave a mark. So my biggest fear is not to leave that mark.
If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
If I was a superhero, I think,
Just the ability to eat the same meal every day.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I think my superpower will be my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, my mind.
That
I
that
think,
dis- that discipline and that focus. Yeah.
yeah, that's in
Yeah.
my mind. Yeah. Like, making the right decision when I'm supposed to.
Mhm.
Like, sometimes you should know when you should block emotion and make the right decisions, right? Yeah, so I think my mind will be my superpower.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so last question then. What's your favorite joke?
Joke?
Yeah. What's your favorite joke?
I really like comedy. Actually, actually, I really love comedy. My favorite joke, a joke by Kevin Hart. where he talked about his his son, where he asked his son for his phone, the son's password for the phone. And someone was like, I ain't gonna give you this password. And he was like, you better say this password of your dad, you know? And his son running downstairs yelled, fuck you, right? Then he went down. I was hitting like he said he was like, it's a joke, right? He was
Yeah.
literally talking to this dude like, I'm your what he said, Dad, the code is fuck you. So yeah, I was actually telling him the code. No, not saying fuck you to his dad, yeah. So that joke always gets me every time. Yeah. I love comedy. Maybe it has to do with my introverted self, always at home,
Mhm.
enjoying TV, watching comedies, and enjoying myself, but I know how to have a good time by myself.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking part in the segment of the podcast that I still haven't thought of a name for. So, Miracle, I'm looking at the clock here, and like I said before, I know you have a busy schedule, but I just want to thank you so much for taking some time to come on the 80% Mental podcast. It's been really wonderful talking to you. I really appreciate it.
Me too. I'm happy. Thank you for having me. And maybe in the future we could do this one more time.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. What we'll do is I'll put links to all of your social media in the episode description. So people can find out a bit more about you, can follow you on your socials. And again, if people haven't watched Physical 100 yet, absolutely go and watch it. It's one of the best things I've watched this year. So Miracle, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to me.
Thank you for having me.
Well, as usual, I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Don't forget that you can listen to all of the other episodes of 80% Mental on the website, 80percentmental.com. Or you can follow us on Twitter at EPM Podcast or on Instagram at 80% Mental. Leave us a comment if you like, or perhaps even leave a review if you have the time to do that. That would be amazing. Well, like I say, I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Miracle from Physical 100, and I will see you next time. Although, no, I won't see you though, will I? Because it's a podcast.